Brendan Moyle is a wildlife trade researcher. He's based at the Massey University in New Zealand. He believes the ban on trading in rhino horn has done little to curb the trade in black and white rhino. And I asked him if a trading ban can ever work.
I think they can sometimes have a temporary beneficial effect in some circumstances. So if there's a lot of laundering going on, if the bad guys are using the legal market to pour their contraband into it, shutting down the legal market for a time can give you sort of time to fix the problem. On the other hand, if it's not a big laundering problem, all you've really done is give the bad guys the market to themselves, and they'll make money on it with the lessened competition.
All right, there's a real push to trade in rhino horn. When is it a good idea? When is it a bad idea?
Well, I think that the real question is how much trade do you have? So what level of trade is going to have the biggest effect on poaching? So if there's a lot of laundering, we know that there shouldn't be much trade. If the bad guys are selling the stuff in Asia through illegal channels and are quite happy to do so, you need a lot of trade. Situation with rhino really is there's not any laundering going on. The bad guys haven't been waiting since 1976 for a legal market to start up to sell the stuff. They have their shops, their networks, they don't care. So it's sort of the situation where we need to really seriously reconsider the ban.
How should it work, in your viewpoint, effectively?
Unfortunately, the big obstacle is going to be the CITES environment, where it's very difficult to get approval to trade.
Why?
Because it's an Appendix 1 species, so it's going to have to be downlisted to Appendix 2. That means you're going to need 2/3 of the parties to agree to that downlisting, and that's history shows is a really hard thing to pull off. There's often been simple majorities achieved by southern countries, but without getting the 2/3 majority they need for downlisting.
And if we did have to introduce legal trade of rhino horn, what sort of impact would it have?
We look at other species where we have had trade occurring. It seems to reduce the amount of money you have to spend on poaching. It crowds some of the poachers out of the market, or it even crowds lots of poachers out of the market. It provides a lot more incentives to locals to sustain and look after local wildlife. So there's a lot of potential upsides to trying it. There's a big savings in what we'd call the opportunity costs. So instead of having your conservation dollars chasing poachers, you can actually use them for conservation. So your helicopters and your light-wing aircraft can actually monitor wildlife, transplant wildlife, rather than run around chasing poachers.